Do you sometimes or often feel like you don't belong anywhere? It doesn't matter where you are, if you're with friends, with family, at work, in a supermarket, at a festival, in a bar, in a restaurant, just on the streets, whatever. Wherever you are, you sometimes or often have the feeling that you just don't belong there, that you're just not really part of that group. And with that comes a lot of insecurities or intense emotions like sadness or grief or anger. And you get triggered a lot and you feel maybe shame or you don't trust the people that much. If the answer is yes to any or more of these questions, then this video is for you. If you have that feeling that you just don't belong wherever you are, sometimes or often, and it comes with a lot of triggers, insecurities, shames, emotions, and nasty feelings you don't want to feel, then it could be that you never really developed a healthy sense of self and a healthy sense of belonging when you are a little child. When you are a little child, your parents, your primary attachment figures, have the healthy task of helping you create a healthy sense of self and belonging. At first, of course, in the family system and in their lives, and more they have to help you develop and guide you into a resourceful and resilient human being who feels a sense of self and a sense of belonging in the outside world. But there are two things that can block you from truly developing such a sense of self and a sense of belonging. And the first is that if your parents are emotionally immature themselves, do not have a sense of belonging or a healthy sense of self themselves, do not feel worthy of love, of life, have their own traumas, their own issues, are emotionally unavailable, are emotionally neglecting you, are relationally traumatizing you, are abusive, are addicted to substances, are emotionally explosive. Just overall, they are not the healthy primary attachment figure that you need to create a healthy sense of self or belonging. You never really have the time to develop your identity and your sense of self in a healthy, peaceful, and open and joyful way. It's just not safe for you to express your authentic self, especially when that is met with resistance, domination, control, manipulation, shaming, blaming, punishments, etc. If it was not safe for you in the childhood environment to express your authenticity, to investigate who you are and to express it and to learn and to get healthy mirroring and healthy reflections back to you from your parents, your mother and your father, it is not safe. You get into survival mode. Your nervous system is dysregulated all the time, and you put all the energy that you have in surviving and creating coping mechanisms and false identities to stay safe, to stay emotionally safe. And all that energy gets lost. All the energy that you need to create a healthy sense of self and a sense of belonging. So if there was emotional neglect, emotional abuse, relational trauma in the family system, which often because of the society we are living in is in a lot of family systems, you don't get the chance to healthily create a sense of belonging. So what does that mean to create a sense of belonging? I mean, if you get a healthy mirror, a healthy reflection back from a safe, emotionally mature attachment figure, such as your mother or your father, then you have the ability to learn more and more about yourself. You learn what is going on inside of you. You learn who you are, what you want, what your preferences are, your needs, your boundaries. You learn to recognize them, to express them, to work with it, and to just overall feel safe to express who you truly are. So then you have the experience that it is safe to express who you truly are and that there is a place for you in this world. But if all of that, what I just said, is not available to you, then you create a story already from a young age that it is not safe who you truly are. And who you truly are doesn't have a place in the family and thus doesn't have a place in the world. And that is where you create the story that there is no place for you. It just means that there is no place for your authentic self because you learned that it was unsafe to express that. So you buried and suppressed all of your authenticity, your emotions, your needs, your boundaries, your preferences, your joys, your excitement, your dreams, etc. You suppressed it all. You stuffed it all away. You dissociated from it. You fragmented your psyche. That is not safe. So you should put that away in some dark chamber in your subconscious mind. And you create a false identity, masks, roles, and coping mechanisms to stay emotionally safe. And staying emotionally safe helps you to fit in, helps you to survive, helps you to receive external validation, and helps you to have the false idea that you fit in. But what happens subconsciously is that you learn that who you truly are doesn't have a place in the family system. And because you are a little child, the family system is your world. You create the story that you do not belong anywhere in the world. It could also be, as I said, the family system is one reason that you do not have a sense of belonging. It could also be that your school system or your religious system or our cultural conditioning and the shaming and blaming and mind control that comes with the three of them makes you afraid of expressing who you authentically are and makes you adapt also to the existing norm, to fit in, to stay emotionally safe, to not get bullied, to not get rejected, to not get shamed, to not get ostracized, to not get punished, to keep yourself maybe safe against physical aggression even, so to not get hit or even killed or whatever. So it's not only the family system, right, that is the source of trauma. It's also our religious, cultural, societal conditioning that is a real big source of trauma. And that makes a lot, let's say almost all people, when they are little, create a false sense of self to stay emotionally safe and to dissociate from their authentic self and to try to fit in and stay safe or to try to belong. But I would say fitting in and belonging are two different things. So it could also be that religious, societal, cultural conditioning, shaming, blaming, and mind control, and the fear and the trauma that comes with it makes that you adapt to existing norms and not really show your authentic self. And thus, you never get the experience that who you truly are has a place in this world. You do not experience that expressing your authentic self gets rewarded or received in a positive way. So also because of that, you do not create a healthy sense of belonging. And these two, I think they are not really two separate items on their own. I mean, both of them directly influence each other. The societal, cultural, religious trauma plays itself out in the individual family systems, right? So you feel like you don't belong because you never took your authentic self out of those deep, dark, shadow chambers and showed that to the world. You chose to stay emotionally safe. But staying emotionally safe is not going to help you feel like you belong anywhere in the world. Next to that, when you experience relational trauma, emotional neglect, complex trauma, societal, religious, cultural trauma, you create a story inside of yourself that you are not worthy of love, of life, that you are a bad person, that you don't belong, that you are not important, etc. This differs per individual, but that you create stories of why you are unworthy because of relational trauma, and you have this wound inside of yourself, the wound of unworthiness because of trauma. I have 2 videos about the wound of unworthiness that you can watch to learn more about that. But if you have this wound of unworthiness inside of you because of trauma, and you have these stories inside of you of why you're not worthy of love, of life, of recognition, of validation, of success, of status, of belonging, of being part of a group, etc., then wherever you are, one, you suppress your authentic self. So you have this grief, this gap inside of you, and you feel like you don't belong, because that's true, because you don't belong. Your true self is not there yet, so it does not belong. I mean, belonging in the end is just showing up as your authentic self and just taking up space in this world, right? And just playing and just following your intuition and your heart and create the life you dream of. That is experiencing a sense of belonging. But next to that, it is also influenced by the beliefs that you have and how much you believe them or not, and how these beliefs are also holding you back to see that you truly belong in this world. So you have truly the suppression of your authentic self, which is creating this I do not belong feeling. But you also have beliefs, false beliefs of why you're not worthy and why you are never able or capable to belong. And these are intertwined, right? These are connected. So if you come somewhere, let's say a festival, and you show up and you subconsciously or consciously know that authentically you would immediately go to the dance floor and just start dancing on your own and enjoying yourself and just playing around and fooling around with people and just smiling and being part of that group. But there's a lot of shame around that, and you have a story that whatever you do, you will not be seen or loved or belong. Then this will hold you back from, one, express that dancey, authentic self, authentic part of you. And these beliefs will reinforce that and will make you stand on the side or make you feel like you want to go home, for example. But it's really blurring your view on wherever you are, right? It's so subjective. It's really looking through traumatized glasses into the world. And it's so sad because it's holding a lot of people back from just being themselves, expressing who they truly are and enjoying themselves, and from really seeing that there is a place for them in this world. But because they're still so unaware of it, they still try to stay emotionally safe instead of emotionally unsafe and just go and do their thing. And people want to stay emotionally safe because actually deep down inside, there is still this wounded inner child inside of them that wants to do everything it has in its power to not make you, as a grown-up adult, ever again feel the buried, suppressed, and heavy and intense emotions from the past that were caused by the relational trauma, betrayal, emotional neglect, abuse, societal, cultural, religious trauma, etc. So this inner child, these wounds inside of you are still trying to prevent you from experiencing those heavy and intense emotions. Because as a little child, you believed that you were not capable of carrying and processing these emotions. Plus, you were little and helpless, and you needed the people around you to survive. And while you are an adult now, and this is not the case anymore, you still believe that that is the case. So you try to stay emotionally safe at the cost of not feeling like you belong. But you're an adult now, and the good thing is that you can create a sense of belonging by reversing your emotional suppression. So going back to the emotions from the past and feeling them, processing them, learning how to tolerate these emotions while you express yourself in an authentic way. It's really learning how to sit with shame, how to sit with grief, with anger, with resentment, with jealousy, with fear and anxiety, fear of rejection, being rejected, being mocked, being ridiculed. Sit with that, learn how to tolerate these emotions and keep your authentic self alive. So if you feel like you do not belong, it is because you're still operating from your false self that is keeping you emotionally safe and that is preventing you from feeling the buried emotions from your past, from the relational trauma, emotional neglect, or societal trauma, cultural, school, religious trauma. So to experience a sense of belonging, not to fit in, but to belong, to feel that you have the right to exist, that you have the right to take up space on this planet, that you have the right to play along in games, that you have the right to have your ambitions, your dreams, your visions, that you have the right to create the life you dream of, that you have the right to dance wherever you want to dance, that you have the right to look the way that you want to look, that you have the right to live and exist as you prefer and desire, that you are allowed to take up space and that you are worthy of taking up space and living. It is possible to create that sense of belonging. And creating such a sense of belonging has everything to do with understanding how you grew up, your role in the family system, what happened to you, how that impacted you, how that influenced you, but also waking up to societal, cultural, religious conditioning, all beliefs, the patriarchal belief system that we are living in, that we are operating in, and that is just a paradigm of reality, and that the beliefs that you were brought up with, that you were conditioned with to behave to, the behaviors that are appropriate or not, etc. You have to question all of that. You have to awaken to all of that. You have to become the observer of your thoughts, the observer of your emotions. You have to understand what you have experienced, what kind of trauma, how that impacted you, what kind of beliefs you have created, and what kind of mechanisms you create to stay emotionally safe. And then start with reversing that. Choose different behavior. Let go of these mechanisms. Let go of these beliefs. Install more positive, helping beliefs. Say goodbye to the role that you had in a family system to stay safe. Nurture yourself. And also heal the inner child inside of you. Reparent yourself. Feel the emotions, the grief, the pain, the anger from the past. Go on a journey inwards, and also make contact with your core, with your essence, with your happy inner child almost, with your dreams, with your visions, with your desires, with what you still want to do in life, and go do that. If you want to experience that you belong on this planet, you have to expose yourself to your biggest fears. Let someone reject you, feel ashamed, do something stupid, take up space, share a need, share a preference, set a boundary, etc. And you experience that whatever happens in the outside world doesn't matter, because you have expressed your authentic self and you have experienced your authentic self in relation to the world, and you will grow in worthiness. And you will know where you truly belong or not. You will find your people because you finally start to recognize yourself in others, and others will recognize themselves in you. And you will feel that whatever happens, you have expressed who you are, and that matters the most. Because it's the relationship with yourself, with your authentic self, and you allowing it to exist, and you telling yourself you are worthy enough to exist and to express it, is the most healing and wholesome thing there is. You feel that there is a whole new world next to the old world where you wanted to stay emotionally safe but never truly felt alive. Because feeling like you belong is also feeling that you are alive. And you will never feel like you belong or that you are alive if you try to stay emotionally safe. So if you need help with this journey or aspects or parts of this journey, I've created an online platform called Beyond Psychology, where I take you through this journey step by step to rediscover who you truly are, heal from your past, master your emotions, free your authentic self, and transform yourself and your life. It also has an entire library with just all kinds of different themes and tools and exercises to help you with parts of the journey. And all my tools are somatic, trauma-informed, and holistic. And they help you to take a deep dive inside and to create enough emotional tolerance to reparent yourself, to heal the wounded parts, to heal the inner child, to overcome fears, etc., and to create emotional tolerance, to just be and express your authentic self, and from that transform yourself in your life. Just check the caption below for the link to my platform and all my tools. And yeah, if you have any questions about this, ask them below the video. Thank you for watching it this far and being here and doing the work. Have a nice day and see you in the next.